My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. Welcome to Letting Go University. Today, in our series on the Course in Miracles workbook, we're looking at lesson 26. And God help us to recognize that we actually are choosing all of these projections of vulnerability of ourselves through these negative thinking patterns that we've been entrained with over time, and that we can let those go. That we have an option to be invulnerable through the release of our attack thoughts. Amen. All right. So, attack thoughts are very common. They're almost all over the place. I remember last year when we were doing this, people were like, wow, I have attack thoughts all the time, all over the place. Like, never realized it. And that's fine. That's really the case. Most people are completely unconscious of how they're using their powerful minds. And we're coming to a relinquishment of a separate identity. So if that's not what you're interested in, you're in the wrong place. The Course in Miracles is bringing us back to wholeness, holiness, oneness. Now, if that in that oneness, that means this whole thing that I think is Sam is not actually a separate Sam. It exists only by the grace of the existence of a field that is far more than this appearance, this small, minuscule piece of that. Now, am I identified with that field, or am I identified with Sam? I'll be honest, most of the time I'm identified as Sam. And this is just an inherent falsity. And so when I identify with Sam, then I say, oh, well, Sam's vulnerable whether there's money or not. I'm saying I'm vulnerable depending on the money. Or if this person likes me or doesn't like me, oh, then I'm vulnerable if they don't like me. So what this body looks like and what this body is going through. Now all of a sudden I'm vulnerable when I'm identifying as this body. And so I'm having all of these thoughts that are attacking my invulnerability because I'm identified as a body. Now we're going to actually, this is more advanced. And in fact, I'm speaking to most of you as if you've gone through the workbook before. So please do the lesson as is suggested, and I'm going to get there. But could you allow yourself to notice that all of this attack thoughts and sense of invulnerability or a sense of vulnerability comes from identification as a small separate body rather than identifying with the field, God, Christ. So my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. So we're going to look at some of those attack thoughts and just take the opportunity to let them go. You don't have to let them go. In fact, there's so much fear about what's going to happen with this body that most people are, in fact, quite averse to letting them go. They think it's really important to maintain these negative thoughts and keep attacking their infinite beings with these illusions of limitation and vulnerability, as if that's going to keep them alive. Don't worry, your survival is guaranteed. Not the separate you, but the holy you. That's survival is guaranteed. And which would you rather identify as? Well, as you can see in today's world, people are very confused about identities. And anything that's small and personal self is just a misunderstanding and error. And we all make that error until we rise in consciousness by the grace of God and experience what actually is. This is part of that process to relinquish some of these attack thoughts. Let's begin. So my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. And could you just allow yourself to look at some things you're afraid might happen? in a situation. I'm concerned about my finances. I'm afraid I won't have the money to pay my student loans. I'm afraid I won't have money to buy a house. I'm afraid I might not make rent. I'm afraid I'll be late on this bill, whatever that is. So I'm just giving some examples. I'm concerned about this. Could be money, could be the body, could be a relationship, whatever. And you just kind of go through what you're afraid might happen. And could you notice how it feels when you're thinking those thoughts? Those thoughts are an attack upon myself. And I feel this way when I'm attacking myself. Could you allow yourself to let those thoughts go? Let those attack thoughts go. And just experience the energy, the feeling in the body, in the field, when those thoughts are running. And could you let go of the thoughts, let go of those attack thoughts upon yourself? And would you allow this feeling to gradually release? Just letting that feeling unpack, letting it go. It'll go all on its own when it's not contained by all those thoughts. And you just experience the feeling and let it go. It goes and goes and goes. And you might notice there's more of this feeling as we continue, and that's fine. That just means there's more. And so going to the mind again. Okay, mind, I'm concerned about my mom and how she's doing. And I'm afraid that she's going to get sick. I'm afraid that she's going to die. I'm afraid that my brother is going to take all the money. I don't know, whatever it is. Because there's so many attack thoughts. And they go on and on and on. And can you notice that for you? What are you concerned about and what are you afraid might happen? And can you notice that these thoughts are an attack on yourself? Here you are, this infinite being, and attacking that, saying it's small. Could you let go of these attack thoughts upon yourself? You don't have to, by the way. You can keep them. Just could you let them go? And when these thoughts are running, when these attack thoughts are happening, can you notice the sensation in the body, in the field? That it might be called an emotion, some energy. So that fear feeling, maybe there's some fear in the chest or the gut. Maybe some desire in the solar plexus for something to go a particular way. Could you allow that sensation, whatever it is, wherever it is, just for now? Those thoughts, don't need them anymore. And this feeling, this is the vibration, the frequency of those kinds of thoughts. Could you give this feeling a chance to unpack, a chance to unwind, just letting that feeling be here just for now? And when you do that, when you ignore the thoughts, let the thoughts go. Nope, not going to attack myself with those thoughts anymore. Just let them go by. Then those thoughts will start to stop entirely when this feeling is gone, when the feeling has run out. Could you let the feeling run out? let it release. Could you release this feeling energy, ignoring the thoughts, feeling the feeling, letting it unpack, letting it release? It does so all on its own if you let it. If we fight the feeling, we claim it's real. Could you just let the feeling be there, let it release as best you can, as best you can. Would you let it release? And what you'll notice over time as this feeling releases more and more is that your mind will get quieter and quieter. There'll be less and less of those thoughts. And when they pop up, you can just release the rest of this feeling. This stuff is coming up for your best interests, for you to go free. And so maybe it goes, maybe it lightens up, maybe it comes up more. Could you notice another situation you're concerned about? I'm concerned about my shoulder because it's been sore, it's been hurting. Maybe I'm going to need surgery. I'm afraid I might need surgery. I'm afraid uh, I might not be able to use my arm. I'm afraid how this is going to affect my performance at work, etc. Oh, my shoulder. I'm concerned about my shoulder. I'm afraid this. So what's that for you? What's that for you? What's going on? What are you concerned with? What are you afraid might happen? And can you notice that these thoughts are attacking your invulnerability as an infinite being that is not this body? Whatever the thoughts, whatever you're concerned about, whatever you're afraid might happen, could you notice that those thoughts are an attack upon yourself? And could you make a decision? You're welcome to keep those thoughts, to keep attacking yourself, or to let them go. Maybe surrendering those thoughts to the field, to God. All right, don't need to attack myself with these thoughts anymore. Now that's awesome. Though, as long as the feeling behind those thoughts are still there, they'll likely still keep popping up. So for now, just surrendering those thoughts, turning them over to God. Could you allow yourself to feel the feeling behind such attack thoughts? And maybe it's fear. Maybe it's wanting control. Just noticing the sensation, the emotion, the energy, wherever it is in the field, in the body, wherever it seems to be. And could you open up and allow that emotion, allow that feeling, that sensation, wherever it is, whatever it is, in the context of surrendering it to God? Could you allow this feeling, let it run, let it be there, experiencing it and surrendering it to God? Just turning it over, whether it stays or goes. Just turning over this feeling of vulnerability to the truth of invulnerability. When could you surrender this feeling to that great context, that higher power, to God? And then maybe it goes, maybe there's more, lightens up, comes up more, shifts to another feeling. All that's okay. These ego programs of attacking ourselves are they're pretty enmeshed and webbed. And so we go through consistently in Letting Go University, we're consistently going through and just kind of opening up all these little things we've woven together in an insane decision to try and be separate from God. And just we're letting them go, letting them go, letting them go. So it takes what it takes. The workbook's a great way to do this. 12-step programs are a great way to do this. Uh, Letting go, the pathway of surrender, or the Sedona method are great ways to do this. We kind of weave that all together in Letting Go University. So thank you so much for joining us today. And it's suggested to go through this a few times today. Could you become aware of these attack thoughts? You don't have to freak out about it. Like, of course, there's a ton of attack thoughts. That's the ego programming. The ego is just this constant kind of attack, 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 attack. So as you notice these things, could you observe them? Notice how you feel, let it go, make a decision to let go of attacking your invulnerability, and watch what happens for you. Thank you so much for joining us, and have the best day you can.